you're talking about primal sounds, and you're saying really everybody has those. Everybody has those within them, within their voice makeup.
Correct. What's different, though, that I'm learning as I travel around the world and start meeting people of different cultures, is that if culturally speaking, that is not your method of emoting, it becomes difficult to produce.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And the more higher socioeconomic class you are in America, the more European or farther removed from this sort of, as I say, primal, open, freely to express kind of matter, because people will look at you like, are you crazy? Oh, you must be ghetto, or you must be country, or you must be untamed, to just, come all out. But at the same time, what happens then, if that's not a part of your normal method of communication, then to produce the same sound or produce that same mode is going to seem and going to come across as staged.
Yes.
Calculated.
Yeah.
Because it is.
Yeah. I mean, do you find, like, especially over in Europe, that perhaps if you're culturally, everybody's a little bit more reserved than in America? Because I know I find that over here, so culturally we are reserved, but then you break it down between the races, and you have us, Black people are still very expressive, even though we're reserved here. Right. And our white counterparts will be, that's not going to happen.
Right.
That's not going to happen, no matter how. But then you have this situation then where we have lots of gospel. Everybody loves gospel sound. And we have lots of gospel choirs from places that are over here in the UK. That would be mostly our white counterparts would be living there. So there's areas like Scotland, for instance, is mostly, or Ireland is mostly our white brothers and sisters who live in that area. Right. And but they love gospel music.
Yeah.
But there is this disconnect that you're not going to be able to really get to emote, as using your word, the gospel, until you can get past being able to sing meow or meow like a cat or make a loud noise and not be conscious about that. Is that kind of the same thing that you have experienced? Is that the kind of same thing that happens in the
Absolutely. I mean, and not only do I experience that overseas, but I even experience it here in the States. When I'm, again, particularly when I'm doing clinics and stuff for teachers, because a lot of the clinics I do are for the teachers. And most of the teachers that come to things happen to be, can be white Christian, grown up in a, even a Southern church, that their process for, or what they think about church is, when they were growing up, you sat still and you dare not move. And it's a whole different cultural experience than like growing up in a Black church. Yeah. Or should I say, growing up in a charismatic Black church. Because I also get Black singers who were raised in a higher economic status and went to more refined all Black churches.
Right, yeah.
That were more on the European side.
Yeah.
And
is that like Episcopal? Would you call, is that Episcopal?
Yeah, Episcopal, some Methodists. I mean, although now it's more contemporary, where some Methodists will break down. Like I'm at a Methodist church now.
Right.
But yeah, it's usually your Methodist, Episcopal, even Presbyterian.
Right. Yeah.
So I think AME with its African Methodist Episcopal tend to be a little bit more
reserved,
charismatic than their counterparts. I mean, they're never not going to be as charismatic as a Pentecostal or Holiness Church, which is really going to break it down.
Yeah.
But it culturally speaking, it is going to give you a place that you can regularly, freely emote.
Yeah.
Where you are conditioned to praise in the sense of saying you are worthy, without me holding back.
Yeah.
On purpose. You know, like that's why in a Pentecostal holiness church, like praise and worship goes for a long time. Like a long time.
It's like this over here.
Yes.
Like that over here. Yeah, go long.
A long time. And you know, and it's funny because I was telling at another teaching conference, not this one, but one in the States that was for people in the States. I was telling them, like I had them singing a simple "This Little Light of Mine." Okay, the whole room, and like I said, they're mostly classical singers,
right?
And we were singing it and we're taking turns ad-libbing over it, you know, whatever. And just going through the room and passing the mic, it lasted about 15 minutes. You know. Yeah. And they were like tired, right? I said, okay, then that wasn't even a high song. Tired. I said, that song won in praise and worship. So if your body is not conditioned to do this, this is low. Yeah. I wasn't in a high key. Yeah. I said, this is what you have to understand. Your body has to be conditioned to do this. There's a certain endurance that you have to be able to condition your body to do. There's a certain amount of endurance in terms of your range that you have to be able to comfortably sustain for a long period of time. You know.
So in your book, did you cover this in the book? Your book is what is it? I wrote it here. Voice training for the gospel soloist.
So voice training for the gospel soloist is not out yet, and it should have been out, but it's not. Okay. What is out is this one, the So You Want to Sing Gospel.
Oh, okay. Let me
because it's a part of NATS, which is the National Association of Teachers of Singing.
Okay. So is that book on your website? I didn't see that one. So you want to sing?
No, but it's on Amazon.
Okay.
It's even got a Kindle version.
It's on Amazon.
Yeah.
Okay, Kindle version.
Yeah.
Or both, book and Kindle?
Book and Kindle.
Okay.
Yeah, the Amazon UK, it's on that too.
Okay, it's just so that our listeners know where they need to go to. I'm sure at the end you give us a little bit more detail. So is it just Amazon that it's on? You give us a little bit more details at the end where our listeners can go and buy your books online. But the other one is not out yet. When is that one due out?
So that's a good question, because every time I say it's going to be out at a certain time, it's not. So it's going to come out when God says it's time to come out. Okay. Sometimes
we just have to do that. We have to leave it in the hand of God.
Well, I mean, because it's particularly one of those things where I started writing it before I started writing this.
Right.
You hear me when I say before?
Yeah.
Before I started writing this. And, I paused it to finish this one because this one had a different deadline. And this one ended up, I'm glad that this one came out first, because this is not a teaching book.
Right.
Like the other one is intended to be.
Right.
This is more of a resource book.
Right. Okay.
That describes everything that I am talking about.
Right. Okay.
Whereas the other one, the voice training for the gospel, will have this content in it, but have more exercises. Like, this is how you do it.
Right. So our listeners really need to just get on to getting this one here, because I think that it is a resource that people need to tap into. We don't have anything over here.
Yeah, I mean, and what's nice about it is that it does give the reader some everything from, like I said, the anatomical awareness of what is your body, and it has some vocal health stuff, and then it has some context in terms of gospel book. Like there's a chapter on gospel vocal pedagogy. What does that mean?
Yeah.
You know, it identifies some of the improvisational tools, and then just gives you some listening ideas and give you some training ideas. And, you know, there's a couple of chapters in here from other people. Like one chapter in there from a voice scientist voice pedagogue, named Scott McCoy. Wendy LeBourne is a speech person who has a chapter on vocal health.
Right.
And then Matt Edwards has a chapter on audio technology.
Right.
So using a mic, but everything else.
The mic and everything, yeah.
So, you know, it's definitely I think a good resource in terms of one of the problems that I have, particularly trying to finish the other book and even doing this, I, as a person, when I'm trying to find something, I do not want the magazine article version.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. I'm like, all right, you did all that to give me an introduction.
Yeah.
Now what am I going to do with it?
I think that's why we just go straight to I really would like to encourage the listeners to buy this book, because we don't have anything here. I've written the titles for each chapter of the book, and that was like 2-3 years ago, and that's it. I have the chapters, but we have a book here that is ready. You know what that's like?
I know what it's like. I know.
But we have the book here, and I just think it's really important that we support each other, and if there's something that is here that is as a resource, I mean, Voice in Ministry looks to be a resource as well. So it's not just training. We want to be a resource. So I'm always on the lookout for books like this that can help our readers and our listeners, so that they can go out and buy it. It's on Amazon. It will turn up if you've got Prime, it will turn up in next day.
Really, right? I mean,
buy it. So it's really important that we make sure that the resource is available and get the word out there, so everybody knows that this book is here. There are lots of people over here who want to understand their voice vocally from the perspective of gospel.
Right.
Do you know? So they sing in church. That's what they do. They love to hear our American worship leaders singing. They love that. We love and admire that vocal style. Our style, we can emote it, but there is more that we can understand about singing gospel. And I think that, you know, one of the ways of being able to do that is to be able to get their hands on, a book like this, so that they've got it and can learn from it.
Right.
I want to ask you something as well, because I think this gives us like 40 minutes. Do you think that there is any, or in your research, did you come across any kind of differences? Okay, now let me put it another way. Why is it that Black people can sing gospel the way that we sing gospel? What makes it unique to us? And we know that there's our white brothers and sisters who can sing, they can throw down some riffs, and they can do some nice yells and scream.
Right.
But it's really our way. It's us. It's
right.
Really how we sing. And I have always thought to myself, I wonder if it's something about the way that we are as a people. I.e., like, if we look at our athletes, you know, at the Olympics, the whole lineup is, they're from Jamaica, they're from USA, and everybody's Black.
Right.
And generally, the world will accept that we're very good runners, but we may not be the best swimmers. We don't really go for the swimming, but we will run, we will box, and we excel at those things.
Right.
What is it, or did you come across or find anything that maybe says that why it's quite unique to us, why we sing like that?
No, that's actually a question that people have asked a lot. And I mean, like grad students that are looking to like go into finding, like, is there a quantum, like, what is the Black voice? You know, because they hear the differences even in classical music. They hear the difference and wondering, is the makeup, is there physical makeup that's different? From a scientific standpoint, the vocal folds are no different. From, you know, what can be different though is the material, in the sense, you know, the broader necks will give a certain sound.
Yeah.
You know, naturally fuller sound. The broader face will tend to give a fuller sound, which is why even when you see your white counterpoints, the ones that have a broader face tend to have a bigger voice.
Right.
You know, that the bone structure affects the way the sound resonates. You know, if we're just talking about sound to sound, not like effects, just sound to sound. Other than that, there's no scientific measurable proof, only because the only way to do that is to look at everybody's larynx.
Yeah, get everyone in. It's something that's on my mind. I'd like to get everyone into the room and really understand, why is it that we...
Why is it? Yeah. And the only thing that you can, like I said, deduce.
Yeah.
The only thing you can actually deduce is the vocal tract. Is what happens once it passes, you know.
Yeah.
And maybe it could a female larynx of a big, robust woman be the size of a man's? That's possible. You know what I mean? But those are things that you'll only know, be able to prove by looking, physically measuring their larynx.
Is that on your, do you plan to do that in the future? Do you see yourself doing that in the future, or is you going to...
Oh, no.
You're still writing.
No, I'm not over that can of worms.
I was going to say, you're still writing.
I'm going to continue.
Get that book out the way first.
Yeah, I'm going to get these books out and these resources and say, show me what you're working with. This is what you do with what you're working with. Whatever you got.
Okay. So for your book, let's just finish up now, because I think we've got 5. I think this allows us only 40 minutes. We've got a couple of 4 minutes left according to...
Yeah, and I have a student coming, so I think.
So just tell us, so just remind us again where we can get your book from, and your book is for everyone. I assume it's anybody who wants to learn or understand about gospel. So if you could just remind us, where can everybody find your book? Your how anybody wants to contact you if they want lessons, etc. You know, just shout out now and let everybody come.
So you want to sing gospel? It can be found on Amazon. All you have to look up is the title, So You Want to Sing Gospel. Or you can look up my name, Triniece Robinson. It will come up. It's available in ebook version or in a paperback version, both through Amazon. It's also available through the Roman and Littlefield, but it's just easier to get on Amazon.
Okay.
Or you can contact me through my website, drtriniece.com. That's, just Dr. Triniece, DRTRICE.com. And you can get to websites, links that will connect you to me directly, whether it be for lessons, whether it be for questions, or whether just to keep in touch.
Yeah. So. Okay, great. And and the people, you sorry, because it cut out a little bit. People can, if they want lessons with you, they can contact you. Do that. So you do it by Skype and Zoom.
Yes.
And that's how you do it. Yep. Okay, great. Well, look, listen. Thank you very much for your time. Thank you so much. And it was just. There's some stuff that you have confirmed to me that I wouldn't know any other way, and I think that what you said is going to be, I know our listeners really have a desire to sing and give their best in their worship in their ministry. So I really think that this has been really Brilliant. And I hope that we can, I'm looking to do something next year, so I'm hoping that we can do something. If we can't fly you over, if we can Skype you in, we're going to try and get you to do something, because I'm trying to plan something for next year, but I'm not saying it yet. But
I hear you.
I can send you in an email, but I'm not going to announce it yet, because not yet. But I got plans. Let's put it that way. So
awesome.
Thank you, Doctor, and just look forward to speaking to you very, very soon. Thank you very, very much.
Thanks so much, Dion. Talk to you soon. God bless.
Bye-bye. Bye.